All right, Dr. Devon Coughlin here with Revolution Health Center. Want to talk a little bit today about symptoms in our health. What symptoms really mean. Are they a good thing or are they a bad thing? So just want to kind of use this chart and this graph here a little bit to kind of demonstrate that. So symptoms really are a good thing. And so if our body is expressing symptoms, it's trying to tell us something. And so I want to kind of show you a little bit of a visual when we look at this chart here. So if this is 100% health and life and function up here, and this is 0%, basically death down there. If you think of people that are in a nursing home, they're going to be functioning down in this area, meaning that they're not doing well at all. They have a short time in their life left. They might be functioning somewhere in the 10 to 20% range. Whereas if you picture a small child who's healthy, has their entire life ahead of them, or really anyone who's expressing life at a really high level, they're going to be up here in that 90 to 100% range. Now, the important thing to understand when it comes to symptoms don't just come up overnight. They can actually be, a problem can be going on in your body before symptoms manifest for quite some time. So let's give a couple examples of that. So let's just say that someone, all of a sudden they have a fall or an injury, or maybe they're just under a lot of stress in their life. Instead of functioning at 100%, they might start to function more poorly, down in the 90, 80, 70% range. They're still not going to have any symptoms yet because our body is made to adapt and survive. So you're not going to all of a sudden start to have heartburn or irritable bowel syndrome after one bad meal. It takes time and repetition of a lot of bad meals and a lot of, I would call, unhealthy living overall that's going to make that come to a point. So it's not until we actually get down to 60% function, that 60% range, that's kind of that magic number. We actually have to lose 40% function to a part of our body before our symptoms are going to come up. And now in that case, we might get symptoms like, irritable bowel syndrome. We might get reflux. We might have, headaches, or even, low back pain, or even asthma. Any of these things are basically symptoms that our body's not functioning properly. And so if you look here, you say, well, all of a sudden I woke up one day and my back hurt, or I woke up one day, I had a long trip and I got a headache. Well, guess what? That didn't just happen overnight. That's been going on for some time in your body. And then all of a sudden, something just kind of put it over the edge. So if you picture, a lot of people walk around functioning somewhere, I would say in this like 65, 70% range, meaning that some days they have symptoms, some days they don't. It's not usually until they start having symptoms on a regular basis, down in that 50% or less range, where all of a sudden they're going to address their health. And so they'll say, I need to do something about this now. And what most people do, I'm not saying everyone, what a lot of people will do is they'll go and they'll get a prescription. And we all know that prescription drugs typically are not meant to correct a problem, they're meant to mask a symptom. So for instance, if I have high blood pressure, I'll take a medication to lower my blood pressure down. But if I discontinue the medication, what happens to my blood pressure? That's right, it goes right back up. Or if I have asthma, and I take my inhaler every time I'm going to exercise, without my inhaler, all of a sudden my asthma is back. And so that's something it's not correcting the problem, it's just getting to the symptom. And so when we look at this, a lot of us are going to take medications around this range. That's not going to fix the problem. It might make us feel better temporarily, but it's not fixing the problem. I always give the example of like a professional athlete getting a cortisone shot in their knee. Now, if their knee's bothering them, right, they can't run and play football, for instance. But if they get the shot of cortisone in their knee, all of a sudden the pain goes away. But what happens when they keep playing on that knee? They cause more damage. So it's the same premise when we take medications to mask our symptoms. It allows our body to get worse and worse, even though we don't feel the symptom anymore. So again, if you think over here, if you follow me over to the nerve system here, this chart is called an autonomic nerve system chart. And basically what this is showing is every single segment in your spine, so your spinal cord, everywhere on there, in between all 24 of those bones in your spine, 2 nerves come off that area and they go to various parts of your body. So you can see nerves go to your heart, they go to your lungs, they go to your stomach to help digest food. They go to your kidneys, your liver, your intestines, everything. All those organs in your body are being controlled by your brain using the spinal cord and nerves to communicate there. And so it's absolutely crucial that if we're having symptoms of some kind of problem, again, whether it be irritable bowel syndrome or reflux or headaches, instead of just masking our symptoms, we have to get to the root of it. What's causing this problem? And I'll guarantee you, now, in addition to lifestyle like diet and exercise and things like that, you're always going to see a component when that person's nerve system's not functioning properly. There's going to be irritation or pressure on those nerves wherever they go out to those organs. There was a Dr. Windsor at the University of Pennsylvania back in the 1920s who used to do autopsies on people that passed away. And he found a 98% correlation between whatever the cause of death was in the person he was doing the autopsy on, whether it be a heart attack or a stroke or cancer, whatever it was. 98% of the time he found a direct correlation where the most nerve damage was in that person's body. Let's just say it was in their upper back here, going to their heart. 98% of the time, the cause of death and the most amount of nerve irritation matched up completely. So don't mask your symptoms with medications. Get to the root of the problem and make sure you continue to tune into our videos. Thanks for watching.